Welcome to MyTeamSafe, a lone working solution for your business no matter how large or how small. This video is broken down into multiple sections. First of all, we will show you the administration dashboard, which is a web portal enabling you to see where all of your lone workers are within the company. Then we will show you the mobile application, which is where you can check in and out of the office, which leads nicely into the fire roster capability. Then we'll go deeper into the lone working capabilities of MyTeamSafe, and we'll start off with strategy management, which is where you can define the rules and how the escalations will occur when somebody doesn't check in on time. We'll go through a demonstration strategy here and explain exactly how that works, and then we'll flip to the mobile app, which is where you will be able to see how that actually will be visualized to your lone workers. Because the demo strategy includes the ability to track GPS location, we will be able to show you how the admin dashboard can visualize where your lone workers physically are within the country. Most of the system assumes that you're using a smartphone, but occasionally you will not have either internet access or you may have no data plan left. So then we fall back to being able to send text messages or SMS. And then finally, we will show you how you can generate some audit reports, whether they're for the current lone working session by a specific user or a week view. What we have here on the left hand side is a web browser which is used by the system administrators to configure the system. In the middle we have an iPhone, which will be for the lone worker himself working within your company, and the third device on the right is an Android device used by the supervisor to be informed whenever your lone worker hasn't checked in on time. So let's go and have a look at one of those strategies. The first thing we do is log into the web portal. And here you can see that we have a demonstration company that has two groups, a Southeast group and a warehouse group. And within the Southeast group we have 3 users, and within the warehouse one we have 5 users. We're going to ignore the warehouse today and just look at the Southeast team, and within that team there is a user called Jamie Wilson. Now if we load up his application on the iPhone, you can see that he's not currently logged in. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip this switch that says remember me, so that whenever he wishes to start a lone working session or provide an update, he doesn't have to log in every time. And then we're going to click on the login button. Okay, that's great. So Jamie is now logged into the system and it's showing that he's currently on site. Now it could be that he needs to nip off to see a customer, so now he can click on off site. And that's registered within the dashboard within the 5 seconds interval that we have selected at the top of the screen. So there we go, he's currently off site, and if he's perhaps off on holiday for the day, he would mark himself as absent. And so you've got a very clear visual representation of who's in the office, who's not in the office, or who's working off site. In addition to that visualization, which is now clearly shown, you can send a text message to MyTeamSafe servers with the word fire and a PIN number, and that will generate an email. Those in green are on site, orange are off site, grey would be absent, and the red indicates that somebody hasn't checked in for a long time and may not actually be present. That's not the primary purpose of MyTeamSafe. It's far more powerful than that. It's to protect your staff in a lone working scenario. So what does that look like? Let's have a quick look in the strategy management. We talked about that briefly earlier on. What is a strategy? Well, this is a way of categorizing a lone working session within MyTeamSafe. So let's say you have a low risk worker that works in an office and doesn't deal with any electrical equipment or anything like that. You could say you're quite happy for them to check in every 2 hours or every 3 hours and just indicate that they're safe. Whereas somebody in your warehouse, you may need them to check in a little bit more regularly, or if somebody is actually truly lone working in the evenings, maybe you want something a little bit more regularly, every half hour, every hour. It's up to you to set that policy. But we're going to look at one of those now. We've got one called demo strategy. So this strategy has been set up as a contrived example to demonstrate how this works very quickly. So we're saying that once a lone worker starts this demo strategy, we expect them to check in and say that they're safe or maybe even unsafe within 1 minute. In addition to this, we're collecting the GPS location and we've provided a button on the mobile app for this strategy, and if we wanted to turn it off because it perhaps is only for a specific event that happens 1 week in a year, we can just turn it off and it won't appear within the mobile app. In addition, you can have a panic strategy, which is where you literally shake your phone 3 times and then the strategy starts immediately. Now if we scroll down, I can show you what happens if they don't check in that 1 minute's time. This is actually saying if you're 1 minute late, so you've not checked in after that minute, you're now 1 minute late, what should you do? And in this scenario we're saying, well, we'd like to send a push notification to the user, the lone working user, with this message. And there's little placeholders, or also known as templates, where we dynamically change the contents of the message. So in this case it would read, "Hi Jamie, you are currently 1 minute late checking in. Please check in now. We will remind you via text, SMS in 1 minute." Now you can insert many different placeholders. For example, the lone working user, you could put their first name, last name, their full name, their email address, their SMS telephone number, or likewise the exact same fields for the supervisor, or maybe some information about the strategy, or escalation rules, actions, sessions, or the geographic location. Now if they're 2 minutes late, on this demonstration we're going to send a text message to the user with a slightly different message. And then if they're 3 minutes late, we're going to send an email. And emails can be much longer, and you can include HTML markup if you wish, but the key thing to take away from this is that you can send notifications down multiple channels: email, SMS and push notifications. And finally, when they're 4 minutes late, we've decided that the user will be emailed one last time to let them know that the supervisor has been informed. And finally, when they're 4 minutes late, we're going to contact the supervisor via text message saying, "Hi Rob, your staff member Jamie is now 4 minutes late. Their last known GPS location was," and then we can insert a special placeholder that includes a link to Google that shows you the map. So if they're on an email or text message, you can interactively view that map without any special software. But in addition to that, we also have the dashboard within this web portal, and within there you can view where everybody is on the map as well. And finally, the user is going to be told by text message that the supervisor has been informed. Before we do start the demo strategy, let's just return back to the dashboard so we can review what's happening. And at the moment Jamie is absent, so we're just waiting for him to come on site. And now we can see that he's on site, so that's great, and he's about to start his demo strategy. So he's now running his strategy that will expect us to check in 1 minute's time, and that's represented on his iPhone, and we can see on the dashboard as well. So at that moment in time, he received an audible alert to remind him to check in on his device. Now at this point, usually he would type in his PIN number to indicate that he's okay. If for whatever reason he's not safe, he can put in any PIN number, click I'm okay, and it will register on the dashboard that he's entered the correct PIN number, and anybody watching the dashboard can decide whether or not to do something about that. But for the moment we're going to wait for the next escalation point to happen, which is when he's 1 minute late checking in. So a 1 minute push notification has just been received as a dialogue, and the dialogue's been displayed because they're within the app. If they weren't in the app, it would be displayed as a normal push notification banner at the top, and you'll see an example of that shortly. On the application homepage there's also a badge to indicate that a lone working session needs attention. And we've just accelerated to 2 minutes to show you the escalation to the lone worker as an SMS message. I'm going to fast forward once more to the 3 minute escalation, which will be received as an email, which will arrive on Windows 10 in the bottom right of the screen. And then once clicked, that will load the email client itself to see the actual message body as shown. Finally, there's going to be a 4 minute escalation, so we're going to fast forward to that, which will result in a text message to the supervisor and the lone worker simultaneously. And the only difference here is that we decided to include the GPS location for the supervisor, which means that they can see a Google map of the last location of that lone worker. And this is improved even further within the web dashboard, where the supervisor can see the location of all of the lone workers within the company. Our demo only shows the one. We're going to show you how the user, the lone worker, actually checks in. They're saying that they're safe, and all that's required is a correct PIN. Then they click on I'm OK, and then that's represented in the mobile and on the web dashboard for the administrator. And if he repeats that and actually clicks on the finish button, he's finishing the lone working session completely, and the dashboard represents that too. But wait, what happens if you don't have 3G, 4G or Wi-Fi? Well, you can fall back to sending text messages to MyTeamSafe. So here you're seeing that we've started a lone working session by texting start 2170, that's their PIN. And in addition, you can also indicate that you're safe. In addition to that, of course, you can initiate a panic. And of course, stop a lone working session. All of the things that you can do using a smart mobile phone. Now, you don't have to just use it as a fallback plan. You can use it as your exclusive use of MyTeamSafe. So if you've got a large number of staff that have older phones, or in fact you might wish to purchase them some older phones because of budget constraints, then this is an ideal solution for you. It's not limiting the functionality in any way. But what if you want to see some historical reports? First up is the basic audit report that shows you the current active lone working session, or if they're not active, their last lone working session. Here you can see a map that shows where they were, and a table that shows the dates and times when the escalations actually occurred. But sometimes you need to go further back than the lone working session. So by default, we show a report of the last 7 days. So here we have some textual information, the dates, the times, and when the escalations occurred, and interspersed with this are maps. And the pin is moving, and it tells you the date and time of those locations on the map, and this can be exported to PDF or to printouts. And that concludes this video from MyTeamSafe.